and if it's good, I will send it to you.
Okay.
I hope your editor will not think that I corrupted you with that. So you can keep it.
No, we can certainly publish it in the newspaper for all Greeks to see it. Mr. Prime Minister, did you feel personally offended that Mitsotakis did not invite you in Athens in last Monday's informal dinner with the leaders of the West Balkans? Of course, you replied on Twitter that he's invited in October in the Berlin Process Summit in Tirana. And what else do you want to tell Prime Minister Mitsotakis?
Listen, first of all, I have learned during all this path in life that feeling personally offended is not a good thing to live with. And I never take it personally when it comes to politics, when it comes to things that happen that may not please you or may not, may make you feel, bad. Because at the end, politics is quite a dangerous beast. It can bring you low, and it can make you then say things that you are not proud of. So no, I'm not personally offended. I simply would not do it, and I don't imagine being, in the same position to do something like that. And more than that, I think that the purpose of the meeting and the initiative Kyriakos took is related to something very, very big, very, very big. So connecting this very big purpose and connecting this very important initiative to send a message to me, to Albania, for whatever importance Greek side puts on this issue that we know very well what is about. It's not this the way, I guess, because I believe that especially when things that are unpleasant happen between friends have to face each other, to talk to each other, to try and understand, to honor the friendship by being very, very open, and at the same time to never forget that they are friends. So Kyriakos was a friend that I like and I respect, and he's still a friend that I like and respect. And I hope this thing will be fixed. But even if not, Kyriakos will always be a friend that I like and respect. Then politics, as I said, can be a very bad influence and can make you do and say things that in the long way you realize that were not the right things.
In December 2022, you welcomed Mitsotakis at the Dervitsani village. Mitsotakis, after a few hours after Mitsotakis had campaigned with Belerin in Himara, had you ever talked to Mitsotakis about your reservation against Belerin?
No. And I don't think he campaigned, really. I think he visited. And it was his...
platform with Belerin.
Yeah, but he can be with whomever he wants. I don't judge my friends based on that. And we were in Dervitsani, yes, and I was very happy to be with him. And in the meantime, we are preparing the sculpture that will be put there to honor his late father, Prime Minister Konstantinos Mitsotakis, who was the first and the last until Kyriakos came, Prime Minister, to come, meet the Greek nationals in that area. And so it's an incredibly important moment in the history sculpture. I just I'm waiting for the result, and we want it to be there before the 28th of October. You have an important date, right? On the 28th of October. So whomever may come from Greece to visit there at that date will find Mitsotakis in the square. And the square is being now completely fixed. We made a project, and you know, this is how I think we owned between Albanians and Greeks. Of course, not just this, but this is just a little example how I think it should be.
Please, for October.
And please stop, just stop. You and whomever is writing about this exhibition to blame Kyriakos or Nikos for having been welcoming, because they welcomed an artist, they welcomed a nice moment for art, for culture.
Absolutely. And, I've never written anything against the exhibition itself.
Because I just, you know, I can tell you to stop because you understand. You understand from my face that this is not addressed to you, but it's addressed to all of them, even some opposition guys that stood up. And when I see how you fight in Greece between opposition and government, I feel at home. It's very simple. But exactly. This is not a good idea to be mixed, because they didn't, in my view, they did nothing wrong. And on the contrary, you know, the exhibition was beautiful, and because the space is amazing. And now
it was a great gesture. It was a great gesture, a great exhibition. It was an honor for us to have your paintings and sculptures in Athens. And I saw that your first exhibition was in Corfu in 1990. So on Wikipedia, was it correct?
Corfu was the first place I landed as a free individual to travel, because before that I've traveled, but I've traveled not as a free individual. I've traveled as a national basketball team player when we had to play abroad in few occasions, and it was the only way to get out of the country. Mm-hmm. Then before the regime collapsed, but after when this big thing happened with Albanians jumping on the walls of the foreign embassies to ask for political asylum, which was the first crack in the wall of the regime, they started to issue passports for traveling abroad to people that had relatives abroad. And my mother, who is from Vuno, Himara, by the way.
Oh, Himara, yes.
By the way, had relatives in Corfu. So I went to Corfu, and I remember that when I arrived, our relatives welcomed us in their house, and I was asked what I wanted to do the day after, to go shopping or to have ice cream or to go to the beach. And yeah, it was very attractive to have an ice cream or to go shopping, but I said, I want to go in the library and I want to see a priest. And they were like, library? Okay, we understand, but a priest? I said, maybe you understand, maybe not. I want to see a library because it will be the first time in my life that I can see in a library, in a bookshop, all the authors that I can touch, I can take out of the shelves, I can look, and they are free. Because in Albania, mostly of them were not free, they were banned. So looking at Plato or at Socrates or at Aristotle or at Kant or at all the authors, Proust and Kafka and all this, just like free for me was a big event in my life. And then I said, I want to see a priest. I never saw a priest in my life because religion was forbidden in Albania. And I just wanted to see a priest, just to look into him, just to feel how a priest looks. And the added value was that the priest had a long beard, not longer than mine, but white as mine. And it was, you'll laugh now, but it's not a joke. It was the first beard I saw in my life, because until 1990, beard was forbidden in Albania.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, beard, long hairs were forbidden.
Right.
Mustache was a statement that only very, very unsuspected people could have, like old guys, writers, or in this end, or old heroes from the war, or old men in the villages, but not us, and not the young. So, and by the way, I'm gonna tell you, and this is not a joke, and this was because the influence of the Chinese Cultural Revolution, we had in the airport of Albania, which at that time had very few flights. Albania had few thousand of tourists, and they were all mostly Marxist-Leninist groups coming to have their holidays here. And in the airport was a barbershop. And every tourist that had a beard or had a beard or had long hair had to go to the barbershop to take off the beard and to take off their. So Karl Marx couldn't enter Marxist Albania without shaving well and cutting his hairs. So this is why I was in Corfu. And then, yes, I bought some paint, I bought some paper, and I started to do paintings at the balcony of this beautiful house of our relatives. And then I got in contact with someone that I never met again, an painter from Corfu named Spiros Surginos. And he liked, and then he said, why we don't do an exhibition? And I said, wow, fantastic. And so we did an exhibition. I did an exhibition then in winter, in December, in the exhibition hall of the Corfu Theater. And this was my first exhibition abroad.
First exhibition, right. Very, very, very interesting story. So let's get to the thorny issue, which is the Belerin issues. My first question about this affair is, why did you choose to attack personally a mayoral candidate? You told about him, you called him illiterate, a scum, an ugly face that will scare. There's the seal of the unwanted. So you are, of course, the PM, and taking into consideration your institutional role and position, was your intervention something like tantamount to a call to the institutions, police or judiciary, to single out or to target this candidate?
Okay, thank you for the question. First of all, as I said, sometimes in politics, you may say things you are not proud of then. And in this campaign, yes, I said some things that, I don't really feel well. But I don't feel well because then this was related to what happened, which has no relation. The reason why I was harsh on him was because he made some very, very unacceptable statements. Like he would bring forward the stopped process of Hellenization of Imara. This is not something you say in Europe, in this Europe. This comes from very long, dark past. And then, of course, other stuff that was not really good. Speaking like he was there to liberate Himara. I don't know from whom. We can talk about that. But I'm asking you a rhetorical question. If I was aware that there was an investigation started by denunciation of someone and then launched by the prosecutor, would I expose myself in this frank language? If I would know that he would be arrested, would I be, exposed in this frank language? I don't think so, because I may not be the most intelligent person on earth, but I'm not also the most stupid person on earth, and this would be very stupid. So I learned about his arrest when the police was in action. And I just called the director of police and said, "What is this?" He said, "We have arrest warrants from the prosecutor, and it's based on hard evidence of vote buying." I said, "Listen, you better be sure what you are doing, because this can be very nasty. And this has to be based on hard evidence, but I wish you luck, because it was not something I was involved. The action was already happening." So then you ask the next question.
Yes. There is a possibility, and I would like to discuss it with you, that with both countries we lost somewhat in translation regarding the Hellenization. Friends of Belerin and other people in Greece, they insist that he never talked about Hellenization. He talked about, in Greek, Hellenismos is the Hellenes, the Greeks. He told to the people there that his victory would be good for Hellenismos, for the people living in Himara. Hellenismos is the people who are living in Canada, in Australia, and everywhere. Ex-Hellenismos means Hellenization. This ex-Hellenismos, ex-Hellenismos. So I saw a documentary on Top Channel of Albania with English subtitles, where the journalist said that Belerin gave an interview to a Greek website, PLOTÖ, where he called for ex-Hellenismo, for Hellenization, but he never called for that. In the interview, he was calling for Hellenismos to be better with him as mayor. And perhaps there is this difference in translation.
Listen, at the end, it's not just this. And overall, whatever the guy represents, which is the totally different view of the world with me and with us, because we were opposing each other in the campaign, has nothing to do with what happened. This I can guarantee you, and I have my word, and I can give you a lot of reasons why you have to believe my word. So beyond the politics of it, and beyond not just this, it's not a word, it's a whole activity, it's a whole many things. But it does, until there, we are in politics. So this is politics. But what happened next is not politics. It's rule of law, and it has to do with our institutions, and we can discuss about that, yes, because I know you think the contrary, and we have to face facts.
I observe you, and I'm listening to you very carefully. But I think that I would like to give you the picture of the affair as it is seen from Athens. Let me explain to you why Athens is disappointed by you. So we all accept that you are a leader of reforms. Your judicial reforms are impressive, especially the vetting process. Only a few countries have dared to do something like that. But still, the problem in the court seems persistent. According to my sources in Athens, the handling of Belerin's affair by Albania's institutions threatened Albania's reputation in the EU because, for three reasons. First, we know that Belerin was not arrested at the scene of the alleged crime. The second is that he is denied the special leave to take the oath of office. And the third is that he is still detained, although he cannot commit the same alleged crime again. I mean, there are no elections to be influenced. The witness examination has been completed, so he cannot interfere with it. And he's an elected mayor, so why escape abroad? Therefore, Athens says that we have a wrong arrest, a wrong detention, and a wrong denial of someone's rights. That's why Athens has taken this position against the issue.
I understand, but I don't agree. I don't agree in any of it. And first of all, I don't agree that a foreign country, a foreign government makes thorough comments about the justice system action of another country, even being very friendly countries. And this, I think, is not European, in my view. And then, first, he was based on what we know, because we don't know everything. We'll know everything when the special prosecutor will present the full evidence in front of the courtroom. And we are not yet there. But based on what we know, he was caught in flagrante. So he was caught in action of vote buying with, of course, his network of vote buying. Secondly, the leave, because this is now the focus. So the leave to the right to leave and to take the oath. First of all, in this second point, in nowhere exists in the Albanian jurisdiction the power of the government or of the prime minister to issue a permission for a pre-trialed detainee to leave jail. This does not exist. And on the other hand, his lawyers, whomever, had to go through the court to ask this thing, which I might tell you, it doesn't exist in the Albanian legislation. There is not such a thing like someone getting a permission to have an oath while he's pre-trialed for a crime in flagrante. And the court has already refused it. Third, you said, your third point, if I am not wrong, was detaining an elected mayor, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's detained while he cannot commit the same crime again.
Yes, but the point is that based on what we can understand from what has happened in terms of the process, he is detained because in 3 levels of the judiciary of the Republic of Albania, first appeal and then the High Court, he couldn't get released. So my question is very simple. Where am I and where is the government of Albania in this? Now, I give you a little background. This system, meaning special prosecutor office on against organized crime, corruption and organized crime, special court against corruption and organized crime, has been created as the implementation of a justice reform that from A to Z was conceived, was written, was approved, and has started to be implemented under the strict monitoring of the European Union and with the full support of the United States and the European Union, Greece included. And these bodies have pre-trialed jail, if I'm not wrong, kind of four or five of mayors from the Socialist Party of Albania. 3 days before the campaign started, a mayor of the Socialist Party of Albania, who was the candidate, was arrested and pre-trialed. And I'm not sure that yet since then he has been indicted in front of the court.
They were incumbent mayors. They were already mayors.
Incumbent, yeah, but incumbent. But I'm saying I'm saying all this.
They were tried for crimes they did during their tenure as mayors.
No. But I'm saying you all this because I want you to realize that these structures are completely independent from every influence and from every possible interference of myself and the government. And this is a commitment we have made. And I if you find a single comment, if you find a single comment of mine, I'm the Prime Minister of Albania. I'm not the Prime Minister of Greece. I'm the Prime Minister of Albania, and I have never commented on actions of these new institutions. And this does not mean that I'm happy with all the actions or that I have not some ideas of mine about one action or the other. So I've said to my party, I've said to the people, this will be painful, this will not be perfect. We are building from scratch a judiciary in Albania that never existed before, never before in the Albanian history, not just in this part of history, but since we have an Albanian state, there is no case where one person related to the power, being monarchy, being communist dictatorship, being democratically elected government, has gone to jail. No one. There is not one case. Today, we have, I don't know, I've lost the count, and we'll keep going so. Now, is it perfect? Nothing is perfect, and this is not perfect. Do I have some concerns, or do I have my own opinion which may differ in one way or the other, in one case or the other? Maybe. But this is what we have to do. We have to endure the pain, we have to endure the imperfection, and we have to keep going, because this is a moment in history that we are trying something we never tried. And when was tried, not like this, but in a much minor way, it was just watered down, because, it's not easy to have an independent judiciary in a country where we are all cousins. If we dig, we are all cousins. So you know something about it, because although Greece is bigger, still, we are the same people. We have same tribal connections. Family is important. Cousins are important. Neighbors are important. People that know people are important. But, we have to build it. And I brought this to you as a background of our conversation because, until now, there are other people in this country that have done terrible things. They are not from a party. They are not from who is today in government, and they are still untouched. We have to wait. We have to be patient. We have to see. So it's a build-up. do you think that there is a different place, and it should be a different justice, and should be a different treatment for someone who is Greek national? Yes.
Yes, at all.
But who is an Albanian citizen and who has to obey to the law, and who has to go through the same thing. So, this is my answer. There is no, and I know that facts sometimes are not enough. Okay, because when someone is fixed on an idea, he keeps going. But there is one thing I have to underline, and I think our civilization, the world we believe in, has solved it since Rome. It's the burden of the accuser to give the proofs, and not of the accused. Now, I'm being accused, and it's not my burden to bring the proofs. I try to bring arguments, but I have not seen any proof that would somehow support the arguments that this is Edi Rama that is doing this, and he's standing stubborn, and he's standing unwavering because he's this and he's that. There have been comments in Greece that I regret. That even he's the tail of Erdogan, and he is doing Erdogan. Listen, this is too much, and it doesn't honor Greece. It doesn't honor Greek journalism. It doesn't honor Greek politics. And
I would ask you about President Erdogan.
This is you ask me, but it's a free talk, and then of course you'll do your job to edit, and then you'll publish. But now I'm talking to you, okay? So
yes, absolutely, we talk together right now. I have another two questions about especially Belarus, and one of them is that in Athens, the Greek government has pointed out that the Belarus is the only one that is held for this specific crime in Albania. I mean, the punishment is disproportionate for almost 300 euros. There were another 31 incidents of bribing in the same day, in the same election day in May, but everybody is free. And for candidates to bribe citizens to vote for them, 31 incidents. And the 30 of them are free, and only one candidate who is accused of an alleged crime like that is in prison. It's another detail of the that we talk about in Athens.
I hear you, and my answer is very simple. First of all, nor the arrest and the imprisonment of the one, and either the letting go of the others has to do with the government or with me. But what can I say to you is, because I have heard this argument, and I have just asked to
your officials.
Understand.
Yes.
And so the thing is that this has been happening on the spot. The other cases are denunciations of others, and there are no candidates. There is no single candidate or incumbent that has been caught doing so and is running free. There are people about whom there are allegations based on a video, based on a voice message, based on something, and these are all things under investigation. But it's not yet there. So the comparison does not really stand.
Yes, if I may, tell you that...
you may, of course.
Yes, according to our information, and according to a video that was posted on Facebook, Belerin was arrested. He was in a different restaurant from where the alleged crime was committed by somebody who worked for him. He was in a different restaurant, talking with his cousin and a lawyer, and then he was arrested because somebody working for him was first arrested half an hour before or 1 hour before in a different restaurant, gelateria, allegedly giving money. So he was not, the lawyers of Belerin say, and they say that the documents, or the court documents, depict and say that Belerin was not at the scene of the crime. But I'd like to move forward. Athens asks...
Let me say something here. First of all, nobody knows except the prosecutors the full evidence, because this has not been public. The full evidence is still under the secret of investigation until the moment that they sit in the court of law and they put it in front of the judge. So when this will happen, then this is a public knowledge thing, and everyone then can judge if there's all of it, or if there's part of it, or if it's good, or it's bad, which I don't know, sir. I don't know. I just respond based on what I know. And what I don't know, I don't know. And if there is no evidence, and if this is all a scam, we will know. And then we can again discuss. But guess what? I'll not comment, because I never comment what these new institutions do. And trust me, sometimes I want to comment, but I retain myself. And there is no one in my government, there is no one in my party that makes comments about justice decisions, especially about this part, because the reform has to go on with the prosecutor offices in every county, with things that, but this part is absolutely a no-go for us, because we want to support these institutions, we want to support this reform, and we are somehow, we have to pay the price for it, being when we see people of our own party arrested, and being when we have things to say and we shut our mouth. This is how we serve this. Otherwise, this can blow again, because if this becomes a political thing, then this can blow again, and the prosecutors and the judges will not feel anymore supported and will not feel anymore doing their job. So the only government interference since the justice reform has taken its course is the interference from the Greek government. From the Albanian government, there is no interference.
Athens asked from Tirana to let Belerin take the oath of office, and there is an option. Are you prepared to support politically the option of him taking the oath of office inside the prison in the presence of a notary?
Listen, it's very interesting. Athens asked Tirana. Who is Tirana in this case?
The Prime Minister.
Tirana is not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is sitting here, and I'm in the center of Tirana, I can confirm. But my power is totally separated from the power of them who should be asked, and they've been asked, and they've said no. Meaning they've been asked through the process, and they've said no. On the other hand, if you find me a line in our law that opens the slightest window for taking an oath in prison with a notary, then let's discuss. There is not such a thing. There is
a precedent. Legal experts in Athens know that there is a precedent in Tirana when on November 14th, 2019, Arta Vorpsi, the Constitutional Court judge, overcame Ilir Meta's resistance to accept her by taking the oath of office in the presence of a notary.
Listen, first of all, she was a free person that had this idea to do this, and there were some people that said this is possible, and then this was refused. Secondly, we're talking about someone that is jailed for a crime. We're not talking about someone making an experiment. And so what she did in that case was her own opinion and her own action, and she did so. It didn't work. But in the case we are talking about detainee. We're talking about someone that's in jail. And when it comes to the oath in office of a mayor, the law is very specific. The oath is taken in front of the city council and in the presence of the prefect or whatever. So there is not such a thing like taking the oath of office in front of a notary. It's not in our law.
So, Prime Minister,
and again, this is what we are talking. So you say something, I say something, but at the end, there is only one place where this can be decided is the court of law. And the court of law said no. So what we are talking about. And then
the head of the prison is not member of the court of law.
But the head of the prison has not such a right to give a permission, because the head of the prison can give permission not to pre-trial detainees. It doesn't exist. A pre-trial detainee cannot be given a permission by the head of the prison, but only if he asks and he retains it in case in a court of law.
In a court of law, okay.
When you are a detainee and you are finished with trials and you are there, and there is God forbid, someone passing away in the family, you ask a permission and you can get it based on conduct and so on. And this is what the director can do. But the director cannot give a permission that for a pretrial detainee to take the oath in office while this is completely out of our legislation.
Right. So, Prime Minister, are you going to call for new elections for Himara?
Here you might get a scoop, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure that you should get it.
I'm happy to get a scoop, certainly.
I'm not sure you should get it, because I'm not sure yet how it goes. But first of all, it's not us. It's not the government that in Albania. It's not the government that called for new elections. It's the president that called for new elections. But how the process goes, it is like that. If in our law, if someone that is elected does not show up for the oath, for whatever reason, it's not defined, but does not show up for the oath in 90 days, then it's up to the government to take care by discharging the person and by putting their caretaker until new elections happen and the new elections are declared by the president. I've asked my lawyers to prepare an argument, and I don't know what their argument will be, but I think that this case is such particular. There is no precedent for it. There's no, because nobody, when they made the law, thought about this situation. So my instinct or my natural reaction is that we maybe have to wait for the trial. So to not until he is proven guilty or not guilty. But this is not a legal opinion. This is just what I think we should do based on the fact that we don't have really a precedent, and this is open for this. Then would be open for many interpretations. So I have to ask the legal office, but I think that we may go both ways. This would be the right answer. We may go both ways based on the argumentation of our legal office. So maybe we act.
Let me make it more clear. You meant that you politically support the idea that Belerin should continue to be an elected mayor until his trial. That's what you said, or if I got it right?
It's not even politically. It's just because in this table, you have to make decisions. You know,
yes.
In your table, you have to comment decisions. So
it's more
so
easy.
when it comes to in this table, you have to make decisions, and then there are many things that you have to go through and then to understand. But in this case, of course, we have to look to the legal opinion.
So that's the.
And I think that that there is a possibility that we don't act until the court will decide. So in this case, we give to everyone the chance to look into it until the end, if it's possible. If legally this is not possible, then we have to discharge it. It can go both ways.
And when are you going to decide about that?
No, we are, and I know that there is another thing being interpreted when the counting starts. The counting starts. Okay, so what you take like the day to count, and I see now that because these guys ran to come to Himara to make the most unique protest in the history of Europe, some guys elected in another country coming to protest here against the authorities of this country is unique. You know, it's like.
It's not unique, Mr. Prime Minister. They did the same in Constantinople for Imamoglu. Kostas Bakoyannis, the mayor of Athens, went to Constantinople, Istanbul, to protest in support for Ekrem Imamoglu, the mayor of
this is something. No. This is something else. This is something else. It's not the same thing. But anyhow, you know, maybe it comes from ancient Greece. I don't know. Maybe you know better. I don't know. But maybe it's a genuinely Greek thing. I'm not accustomed to it. But what I want to say is that the counting now we are even not being in the same page for the counting. So we'll let it go. So we will not enter in the counting. So we will let it go, and then we'll take our decision. It can go both ways. Yes. It can go both.
Well, I read on your biographical details, and you told me before first that your mother is from Vuno, a village in Himara region. Yeah. Do you feel a native of Himara a bit?
A native of Himara?
Yes, you personally.
Listen, in Albania, I don't know if in Greece you have they say that a man is always coming from the village of his wife.
Yes, it is said in Greece.
You have it, yes. So I was born in Tirana. My wife was born in Tirana, so I feel native of Tirana. But yes, I have a very, very strong bond with Himara, with Vuno, and my
have a strong bond.
Very strong bond, very, very strong bond.
So
and,
it's an opportunity.
My mother was a very typical Vunotia, and for Vuno, there is a say, you know, their normal fever is 38. So I love it.
You said Vunotia. You know Greek?
No, I don't know Greek. My brother knows more. He learned some when he was in Corfu. And I really regret that I am not able to speak this language, because to me, it sounds a beautiful language, and then it's the language of great people.
Right. So, as you feel strongly about Himara, do you have any message for the Greek minority living in Himara to give in this interview?
I have no message to give to them. I think that whomever in Himara or in all the Greek minority living wherever, they know very well that if they are not poisoned by politics, they know very well that they live in this country totally equal with Albanians, with the good and the bad, with the problems and the good things. So I don't know yet, maybe you can help me, a single problem that you can find for the Greeks here, and it's just for the Greeks. I don't know a single one. If you tell me one,
yes, I told you, I didn't know too, but I was told that there is still a problem regarding the property rights of citizens of Himara. And it is said in Athens, it is said that property titles are given to citizens of Himara only if they have already agreed to sell them to big strategic investors. So in the 10 years you govern Albania, and 3 years after the parliament approved the new law on properties, do you know perhaps how many ownership titles have been given to Himara residents without these residents having sold them immediately? These properties to investors.
First of all, this is a total spin, because the property titles history of Albania is very painful, very painful. We had to go through the hell of full nationalization, and then we had to go through the purgatory of the so-called transition, where the property titles were the first big victim. A big mess in every kilometer square of the country. So I'm telling you that we have still issues, big issues in the north, huge properties, where there are needs for development, there are needs for getting funds, there are needs for getting subsidies, and they cannot register still today. And that's why we had to pass this law first. Second, it's, to say that they are recognize their property only after they make the deals with whomever. This is a total. This is not logic, because there is no deal that you can make with institutions. There is no permission you can get if you don't have the titles. So you need to have the titles. And I've heard this piece of bread story, and this is crazy. You know how much the land is sold in Himara, and it's the people there selling, and they sell the land based on papers they have, or based on some very old papers that are, of communist time, that are like not even titles of property, but they are owners and they sell. And we have today, I'm telling you, in Himara, a situation where property is sold much higher than in a lot of parts of Corfu. I was told by someone that is working there and is building there. He's not from Himara. He said to me, I have bought the properties 3 times because I didn't want anyone to be like I was left aside. And they have problems with each other because of overlapping, because different papers, because different. And I bought them 3 times, he said. And secondly, he said, and he showed me, I'm now working to buy a property in Corfu, and it's 10 times less than what I bought in Himara, 1 time. So in Himara today, the average price, guess how much it is? 400 euro, 500 euro, meter square. I'm talking about where the beach is. I'm not talking about the mountains, right? So it can go to 1,000 sometimes, and it's quite a good transaction in parentheses, because it's mostly not a transparent transaction. So a lot of money goes to the people without being declared rightly, and this is a problem we don't have in Himara only, we have everywhere. So it's we have made a major cleanup of the titles of property, but still there is a lot to do, because there is a lot of bad things have happened
in the past. Yes.
Before. Let me tell you another thing. The titles of properties given to the Greek minority during my tenure are countless. Compare them with what happened before. Zero, not one, zero. The Greek minority today can go to churches that are with titles of property. And churches did not have titles of property since communism ripped them off from the titles. And my government gave churches the titles. So you know what is, and you know, I had a conversation with the association. They are called the Association of Himariotons or something in America. They were very vocal because they have their roots in Himara. They are well organized and so on, and they were very vocal and they were very strongly opposing me based on words. And I went to New York and I sat with them and I said, listen, don't talk to me, don't listen to me. Of course, I'll build my case based on what is best for me. So send there a team, send them a team of lawyers and let them interview everyone they want. Let them go to the spot. Let them talk to the institutions. Let them get the facts. And then if what you say is as you say it and is not as I say it, I'm ready to be punished. I mean, punished in a way like the biggest liar. And one of the guys, a very wise guy, said to me, listen, I never thought that I would meet and break bread with Eddie Rama. This is already something huge. And now I'm telling you, if you are manipulating us, I'll be after you all your life. In the Greek way, of course, not in the terrorist way. And but if you are telling me the truth, you'll be my friend for life. And we are friends for life today.
Right.
So facts and be careful. I'm not saying this is all like I would say water of roses. I'm not saying that they have no problems. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you the problems of property in all the shores of Albania, from up in Shkodra to down in Konispol, are the same. The trouble is that some people that seem to be more intelligent than others know how to use the Greek flag, as a credit card. Know to use the Greek flag as a way to fuel poison, and know to use also their very petty interests by using the Greek flag. It's something every people do, but for Albanians, they do it by using the Socialist Party flag or the Democratic Party flag or other party flags, because they cannot claim that they are a minority here being devastated or a member of minority being ripped off. When it comes to some people in the Greek minority, they are very good in manipulating Athens, and Athens is not good in understanding that the best chance they have for improving the relations and improving the life of Greek minority is not a Greek. It's just me. And it's me not because I am, I'm working for Greeks, I'm working for everyone. And I think that the Greeks in Albania are a treasure and we have to treasure their presence. That's it. But, as there are some Albanians that I'm not really happy to share with them the same blood. There are some Greeks that really, you should not be very proud of sharing the same blood.
You talk about manipulation. The story that members of the government have been supporting special interests in Himara is also a manipulation, and I refer to the story of Artan Gatsi, the husband of the Foreign Secretary Olta Chaska, who is the owner of HGTCC Hotel Management, and it has been designated as a strategic investor. It has been a whole talk in the Parliament and in the Supreme Court, I think. And what's your comment on that? Because it is been referred as a way of the government to support some special interests.
Yeah. Listen, if talks in Parliament would be proofs, then you should not talk to me. You should just inform the police where I am, and you should keep me here until police come. So
I don't say that you support this, and I don't.
No.
I don't think if it is.
No. I'm
perfectly legal.
No. I'm saying if the talks in Parliament become a reason to go after people, you should come after me, because I'm the most dangerous, the most crooked, the most bad guy based on the talks in Parliament. But what is the truth of that? And how this became like big
issue, yes.
I'm telling you, and what is at the end the strategic investing? The strategic investing is a tool to simply guarantee, and guarantee not by money, but simply guarantee by some incentives, investors in strategic sectors. And for us, tourism is a strategic sector, as this tool has been used because we were very, very behind. We didn't have a hotel. A hotel that it deserves its name. So strategic investor is a title you get after you have everything settled between yourself and the landowners, and you present the plan and you present the project and so on. Now, and this is the project, like many projects in our shores of hotel and residences, typical of countries like ours. And every hotel in Albania that is in the seafront gets a permission to use the beach. Every hotel. So the permission that was given is one among thousands and thousands and thousands of permissions from Adriatic to Konispoli. And the question was not raised by owners that were ripped off, because the owners there have made their deal and are happy with the deal, as every owner. Because if an owner is not happy with the deal, he doesn't make the deal, or if the owner is ripped off, then the owner goes to the court, goes to the media, and so on. There is not such a thing. Now, my question is simple. What these people want? They want people that live in Himara, that have the properties, to develop their land or to stay there like Robinson Crusoe. This is the question. Because if they develop their land based on the plans, of course, they get money. They get money. They get a lot of money. So this is underestimating a lot the intelligence and the capacity of the people in Albania, being Albanian nationals, being Greek nationals, to take care of their own business. So they take good care of their business. Trust me. And there is not such a thing like, we want to do what? To do what in Himara? To do what? We want to develop Himara, to develop every part of the country based on the law, based on the contracts, based on everything. And you can't find me a single case, because this would be what then can be a problem. If we took land to put a strategic investor that has no deal with the owners, like we do in Greece, like we can do in our legislation, but we never did it, never ever did it. When it was about owners, respect for the owners. So I don't know what really people are talking about.
I'll take the opportunity to tell you, to confess that my own deep respect for Albanians living in Greece that I have met. Some of them are voters of you. They're very hardworking people with integrity and moral values, and absolutely respect their intelligence. And I accept what you say. So I would also like to say that you're a leader of bold words and bold deeds. Recently in Chatham House, you said, "I fight for a country open and free." And also you said that I risked my life for freedom of speech. And I totally respect these statements, and I know your story and your life in art and certainly in politics in the last 30 years and more, and even more. But about Himara, it's an opportunity to ask you something else. It would be quite a bold gesture towards the Greeks of Himara if you agreed that the teachings of the last 2 years of the private high school in Himara would be in Greek as well. Would you be willing to consider such a gesture?
I'm not familiar with this issue. Frankly, I'm not familiar with that. It's the first time I'm hearing that, and I have to check. And
okay,
yeah,
it's all the lessons are in Greek until the last 2 years, and the last 2 years are everything in Albanian language. That's why in the
until the last 2 years, meaning until
yes, the last 2 years of the high school until you go to the university. It's in Albania.
So the last 2 years of high school, there is no more Greek language, you say?
Yes, it's all the lessons are.
I'm not familiar with that.
Albanian. Okay.
I'm not familiar.
I have another.
I think learning Greek is beautiful. Learning every language is beautiful, and learning the languages of the neighbors is fantastic. I believe it. I'm too old now to learn Greek, but I would love to. So
you can try if you want to.
Maybe I can join in the course in Himara.
I think I've made most of the questions, but I would like also to have another two. It is well documented that you have a political collaboration with Tony Blair and Alastair Campbell. Would you accept Tony Blair to act as an intermediary between you and Mitsotakis to resolve the Belerin issue?
But you know, there's you know what Tony Blair would do. He would do what? He would
to maybe how friendship again.
He would friendship. No, I'm telling you, I don't feel, you know, and I'm very sincere. I don't feel any sense of, you know, any sense of why I was friend with this man, why I trusted this man. No, I am friend with him and I trust him, you know. I told you politics can be a very bad influence, and sometimes politics have ruined very beautiful minds and great hearts. So
yes, absolutely.
But it doesn't change. It doesn't change my feelings. So no, really, literally, I'm telling you, Kyriakos to me is a modern leader, and what is happening now is not modern, is antique, and should not happen. But I don't know exactly the motives. I think that this is just very simple. It's very simple. And all these suspicions, all these conspiracy theories, all this crazy, you know, idea that Himara is an arena where we have to confront how much Greeks we are or how much Albanians we are. All this is not good. All this is too old. All this is so, but it does. But
Mr. Prime Minister, that's a job for Tony Blair to explain the situation to the different capitals. And so,
I don't know. I don't know if you can explain to Kyriakos, but I don't think we need we need another language in the middle, you know, because I speak Albanian, he speaks Greek, and he speaks English better than me, but I speak English good enough. So we don't need an English speaker that doesn't know Albanian, doesn't know Greek, to put together a Greek and an Albanian, because I'm afraid that then Tony will have the problem, not us, you know.
Let me ask you about the last thing, totally different of Himara and Beleris. It's about the sea zones. In 2010, as a head of the opposition, you opposed the 2009 agreement about the sea zones between Greece and Albania. Are you now really willing to sign an arbitration agreement and refer the matters to Hague International Court, or not?
Listen, this is a good example, again, to explain you how I see politics. When this agreement was made between my predecessor and was signed between my predecessor and I think it was Karamelis,
yes,
the government, and Dora signed it with my beloved opponent. I had no clue, because this was nobody had a clue. You know, it came out this news, and well, everyone was okay, you know, just like there is an agreement between Greece and Albania. What's wrong? But then some people from civil society, and namely former high military guy, started to write things that were disturbing. And then, you know, when there is a reason to jump against the Albanians in Greece, you find a lot of people that would do it. And in Albania, the same. Against Greeks, you find a lot of people. So the thing got very, very, very poisoned and very inflated. And my people in the party were saying, this is a good occasion, we have to. I said, no, you know, because this is too easy. You know, if we start opening a political fight here, what are we going to say? What are you going to do? But in the same time, the arguments were very concerning. So I said, listen, the only thing we can do, send it to the Constitutional Court. And the Constitutional Court, by the way, at that time, had always results that were very balanced, or mostly majority on the other side. So I said, it's a balanced court. They are reasonable people, so they have to enter deep in this, because sea agreements are not easy, and there are not many people that know about sea agreements, because it's a niche in the world of judicial.
Yes, legal matters.
So we sent it to the Constitutional Court, and the Constitutional Court had a 9-0. It was very 9-0 against it.
Against, yes.
So, and this remained an issue. And when I became prime minister, I started talking. And I remember I had my first discussion, because I was asked to what I thought about it from Samaras. And then when we had our discussions with Alexis, I said to him, why to not go to the International Court? And because this is something where, you know, our countries, and in this we are similar. You may be in the European Union, we are candidates. You are ahead of us because history was more generous with you than with us. So you had the EU before us a long time. But in this, we are the same still. We produce more history than we can digest. And when it comes to this thing, of course, you will be immediately a potential traitor, being on the Greek side or being on the Albanian side, because both sides would be accused for treason, while cannot be a consensual treason on both sides. One has to be the traitor, one has to be the perpetrator, no? So I said, no. So Alexis was quite cold about it. we started to have negotiations after negotiations after negotiations about it. We reached in a good place, I must say. But then the poetry of Syriza, the prose of Syriza ended. And so we restarted. And I'm very, 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 very satisfied that we reached this agreement that we better leave it to the international court. And
I mean, you have reached already an agreement with the Greek side?
No, we reached in principle the agreement. The agreement then to go through. So in principle, we reached the agreement. Now we need to go through the procedure. The president has to give the new authorization for the negotiating group to start, and then we have to prepare this. There is a something called common whatever.
Yes, in the common arbitration agreement.
Yes, so this is something that has to come, and I hope. So
you're optimistic that it's going to happen.
I hope that
some suspicious voices.
No,
you know the voices. You know the suspicious voices that say that Rama prefers the strategic friendship of President Erdogan, and President Erdogan does not want an agreement between Greece and Albania, because such agreement will be used as a blueprint for a future agreement in the Aegean between Greece and Turkey. It is another conspiracy theory.
This is a big conspiracy theory. First of all, because when I went against the agreement to the court, I never met President Erdogan, and I had no relation with anyone in Turkey because we were in opposition. First, second, yes, we have a strategic agreement with President Erdogan, but I don't think that we have to choose between President Erdogan or Kyriakos Mitsotakis, between Greece and Turkey. We want both. We love both. The fact that we don't like much each other should not be a problem for us to like both of you. And I think, and so President Erdogan never, ever, I'm telling you this, then, it's my word against the conspiracy theorists, even asked me, what is going on with that? Never, never. He doesn't need Albania to make his fight, I guess. So, and as we are speaking about President Erdogan, I'm telling you, my feeling is that President Erdogan is not an anti-Greek. President Erdogan is someone that you know very well, had the guts when he was not yet who he is today, but he was just the prime minister, to put on the table an agreement for Cyprus. You remember that? That was something very dangerous for his career back in Ankara, and he did it. And that time he was kind of, I'm not using the F word, but something around it. You will find in Greek something more soft than the F word by the European Union. And during the big crisis Greece went through, I didn't see him taking the opportunity to add to it some more, because if he would like to destroy Greece, or if it's in his mind to destroy Greece, he would have used that moment to make it more painful with refugees and stuff, and that he didn't do it. So I never saw him like a person that has any bad feelings about Greece and Greek people. Of course, he has his own opinion about this situation, this sea thing, and I'm not entering there because it's not my business to enter there. But in my knowledge, the Turkish side is asking since a long time to go to the international court, right? So. This is the thing. We are satisfied that the Greek side accepted to go to the international court with us, and I hope they'll go in international courts also with Turkey, and this thing is solved by a third party, which both sides agree. Otherwise, we'll continue to be traitors of traitors of traitors. So, and this is not a good idea here.
Prime Minister, I would like to thank you for this long interview. And finally, I would like to ask you, when do you expect your next art exhibition in Athens to take place?
I have some now in a row, and I wish to come back to Athens for exhibiting, and I would do it with big pleasure. But for the moment, it's too fresh, and I had a very good feeling there, and it was not touched by all this bullshit around it. And I want just to tell to my fellows of Syriza to let the art aside and to not use even my exhibition to tell Mitsotakis how stupid he is, because this is not a good idea of fighting and
it's politics, Prime Minister. It's politics, and you said before that politics is poison.
Politics is the best thing that can happen to people when people use it to solve together things that it cannot solve alone. And this is how old Greeks saw politics. And otherwise, when politics is used to go after people, this is bad. So I love politics. Without politics, many things would not exist today. But this is not politics. This is bullshit. To go after everything, to create around everything an issue for your opponent. Because and it should be a reason Kyriakos won again, right? So I don't think that my exhibition will bring Syriza to power. No.
Yes. So thank you indeed, and I wish you all the best.
Okay. So
come in Athens.
You are invited here anytime, my friend, and I would be very happy to anytime. And you got always the first knock. So whenever there is something Greece about me, you'll be my first choice.
It's a pleasure to talk with you, and also an honor. Thank you very much. Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Está εδώ